again. Today is a Friday. Oh my goodness, it's the Friday of the last Friday of the month already. We're going into June. How exciting! And we're still at home. Yay! It's not a good thing or a bad thing. We don't know. It depends how you look at it. And we're so excited to be here today because we're going to have some really cool conversations. Like usually our Friday is really fun. And we don't know where it's going to take us. It takes us to really good things. As we know, it's always a learning and it's always something good comes out of this. So today we're going to discuss more about what is your definition of success? And I really love it because I've seen, other times about this and what is really success for you and how you look at it success. So we welcome any comments, any questions that you have, and we're going to go through the conversation today and have fun. So you guys know here with me is Maria. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the call. She looks like nice and bright. I love that pink lip. Beautiful as always.
Aww.
So tell us, how was your week? Tell us a little bit more on that amazing topic that you chose to talk to us today.
Well, there's not really much to say. It was, it seems to just a few people. This was actually a very productive week for myself. I have, my girls home with everything that's going on, and it's been a very interesting week to say the least. So the one thing that kind of just came to mind for me was it stemmed out from my conversation with my incredible coach, Olga. And, we got on a discussion on a few things and ideas that I've been brainstorming on, and in terms of service. So when we, in this particular case, we were discussing business, and and it was interesting because after I had that discussion, I actually did a Facebook post regarding that experience, and I kind of elaborated on, my definition, and it just kind of gave me a very fulfilling perspective. And so from that experience, it just stemmed on, because I think it's interesting to kind of discuss this further, because I think we all are, us as humans, we're all striving for the same thing, and at the same time, it'd be interesting to see the what are people's definitions of success. So from that conversation with Olga, she made a comment, and on that post that really, and she made a comment about how how success is truly, that I was actually expressing that at that point. And I kind of already was in that place, in that mind space already, in terms of feeling and in terms of truly embracing what that meant for me. And I guarantee you that what that means for me is going to be different what that means for somebody else. I think in this day and age, many people look at success in terms of monetarily. I think that, and I'm not saying that that's the case for all, but I think that plays a really big case that really does. So most people feel that defines success is how much money they make or how much money they keep, and truly, I know some people that are truly successful in the eyes of monetary that really don't know if they're coming or going, and really don't embrace their life to the full abundance that they could. So that has kind of, it's always been an intriguing topic for me personally, because like I said, I mean, for my past, I've always felt that a driving force was that financial compensation. Yet I never let that hold me back in experiencing life. So I think overall, I've always had a balance of that, but I think it hasn't been, up until now, I haven't been able to truly grasp what that definition meant for me. So I just figured, what, this would be an interesting topic
Yeah. So
to
did you
discuss with
think
our.
about, did you like, what is, let's say, the thing that came to you? What is the definition of success for you? Like, let's say right now in this moment.
I would say my true definition of success comes in different parts, but ultimately the bottom line of those parts would be alignment and balance with true happiness and fulfillment within me. And what that means, and I know that's very broad,
Yeah.
to me, that is when you could go in any area of your life, make decisions based off of passion and based off of ideas that bring excitement, that really truly bring something in a high vibration and something very positive that brings out the passion within you. And you're able to focus on that idea without letting fear stop you.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, when you know that everything is going to be okay and you trust in that belief, and you're able to proceed in that area of that decision, and this applies to all areas of life, and have that knowing, that confidence. But even further than confidence, it's that knowing, that bottom line knowing that no matter what, that you're going to be okay. It's that trust and knowing. And for me, when I brought the specific idea to, and I wanted to hear her perspective on that, the bottom line of what I approached her about was servicing my clients. And I've been feeling, because I have all these clients within our elite group that I have spent the time to get to know. I get to know their needs and their criteria within the real estate. And I feel that I haven't been able to service all of them completely with opportunities to get them closer to their goals. And because we work very differently as a consulting firm, as opposed to, say, a brokerage firm, we truly are a consulting firm. So we consult on all areas of real estate wealth building. And we make that transition very simplified for anyone coming into the Niagara region market or any market. And, and we truly problem solve and help people to get A to Z. And with a business model like that, to be able to only focus on, say, opportunities. So for me, I approached her on this, on how we could up level, which would basically me bring other people outside of our organization to service those clients. And it just resonated with me on such a level, because my main focus was, how can I service my clients even further in a way that maybe I haven't been able to right now, and bring in other people into the mix outside of our organization to do that, and solely for the purpose of wanting to serve them. So for me, that was when I knew, and that was basically top when I knew it was, let's bring in some of my realtor friends. Let's find a way of how we could service these people that are ready, that are looking for opportunities that are just not available right now, or for whatever reason they haven't been serviced. And let's do this in an interdependent way. And that was the example that I'm using, and that's how the topic kind of came up. And it truly, for me, when you apply this to any area of your life and you're able to make decisions without, without even having that inclination of fear come in and say, well, you know what, in some cases, using this situation, some people would say, well, this is my client. But no, it doesn't work that way. It's, it's getting out of the fear-based mindset to be able to move to that next step. And I think that unconsciously I've kind of always taken those steps because I've always been very intrigued in service. I've always been a true to my soul, even from when I was an employee. I from the time that I started working, from when I was 10 years old with a paper route, it is part of who my DNA and who I am, is to serve humanity, however that may be. And what I do is only the vehicle. It doesn't dictate who I am. It doesn't denote who I am. It only is the vehicle that I use in fulfilling my soul, my life, and my destiny. So, and that's kind of just in a nutshell, my definition of success. And it's, it's the knowing of being able and to live a life of true fulfillment in where you are, and whatever decision or wherever life takes you, you're still in that state of just knowing and being completely fulfilled with who you are and where you're going, and just trusting in the process that unfolds.
Yeah, and that takes us back to like when we talked a couple of weeks ago about the be, do, have, because it's all like related to that, and it takes you to the success. Like for me, I find that success is something that you find in anything that you do, really. Because for me, it's like it was a success when I moved to Canada. And even though I came here with pretty much nothing, just to start, let's say, my new life and then a new journey, of course, too. So then for me, that was a success right there. And it was like, okay, now what's next? And then I did other things, right? So I got different things. And how I see it is that it's really a success for me. It could be, yes, monetary, because I, working in a business that we all want to make our money. That's a success as well. And the main thing for me is just to be able to serve others, or to just say, enjoy the little things, because those little things can take you to bigger things that make you like all more successful in your life. Mm-hmm. So the little thing for me too, it would be like, just going even to a new place, going for a walk, going for like, the simple things. That's a success, because you're like, you want to move, let's say you're going to start doing something for yourself that is good for you, you can see that as a success. And that way, you, let's say, improve every time. Because for me, I find that the little things, consistency, it can take you to the steady results, and then to have the success that you want to have. So it is very, very powerful to be able to, let's say, that as we know with all our learning and all the trainings that we took and we use in our technique, and we know how powerful are the timeline therapy, the hypnosis, and all those cool tools that we have available, and help us to get the success that we want. So I just I'm so fascinated, and to me, everything that you can look at it as a little, like you're really happy about, you did, it could be a success. So yeah, I always mention, Tony Robbins, he said that for somebody, let's say, that makes $40,000 a year, and then one year they make $100,000, that's a success right there. But for those that make $1 million a year, and then they make the next year $5 million, that's a success for them. So it's relative. Like, it's a perspective. What is success for you is different for me, like you were saying, and that's okay. That's all part of the success that we can all have. in our life, doing the things that we want to do as well. So yeah, it's very, very, very cool. And how do you see, let's say, when you say that you're going and serving, get your clients and you're helping them, have you like noticed that, let's say, that success that when they get something that they love, or let's say they did, or you help them do something and then they go like they're really happy. So that could be a success for them. Have you like seen something like that in your clients?
I'm not, can you narrow down the question a little bit more? Because I'm just not understanding fully what you're asking, Zoe.
Is that what I mean? What I mean is that how you, let's say, your clients see the success that they can have because you help them to get into something, or you help them to go and do something that is good for them. Let's say an investment in anything, or maybe you help them, with their mindset or something that it will go like, oh yeah, I feel this is good for me. This is a success event, let's say, or success story that I can share later on if they happen to have something like that in their life because you serve them.
I'd say, we've had many successes in terms of, closures and opportunities, in terms of, I think for myself, because coming from the Mindspace area, for me, that's kind of where we started from, and that's where we kind of met. So I think I don't really, when I consult with clients, especially a lot of the clients that lately we've been working with are people that are feeling the impacts of COVID, and even pre-COVID situation, we're in dire straits. So it's consulting on levels on those areas that, that have been providing some value with opportunities for other, affiliate people that we work with, so I mean, from helping clients not lose their own homes, and some of their investment properties, to, successful closures of opportunities. And I'd say even on the larger part for us has also been just being able to shift their perspectives on looking at things a little bit differently and being open to the possibilities, I'd say is one of the key things. I like to look at myself, and I've been also kind of known from within my groups and my peers that I'm a out of the box thinker. I work kind of outside of the box. Some people really don't get it, and that's okay. Those truly aren't my clients. And for those that are open to suggestion, in getting out of their own mind space and their own belief systems, sometimes can be hard because we're conditioned a certain way. And and for those speaking on the lines of investors, if they've had reoccurring successes, with a certain strategy, yet they have the openness on looking at something different outside of their space, it's just, providing that perspective on shifting them on, okay, kind of look at it this way instead of this way. And I know you've had successes, and I think that's all part of growth. When, as you evolve, the opportunities will evolve, life experiences evolve. You have to be, we call that pivoting, and if something doesn't work, you pivot. And, as you evolve, everything evolves, and in order for you to be in that alignment, you have to let go of the resistance. And for most people, may not even realize that they're resisting something. Though for someone like myself that has the training and have my own personal gifts, that I'm able to even just know that instinctually, I'm able to shift people and work with people in a very different creative way. So that in itself, to me, and this is just speaking in terms of work. You know, now I apply this to all areas of my life. I find when I look at my own patterns and my own triggers and my own experiences in my everyday life, I find that, you know, I think the life, you know, we're kind of like, I guess you could use the analogy of an onion. We're like an onion. Even though we may release and have growth in this one area, you know, as you continue to peel those layers, things are going to, you know, things are going to open up and release, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think personal development is truly a lifelong experience. It's a lifelong journey. You're never done growing. You're never done experiencing. So for me, that kind of plays in all areas. So for us, even just in relationships, you know, relationships and friendships, you know, we all go through those experiences, and it's, you know, that's not something that's ever going to change. It's those contrasting experiences that we are faced that are the signs, are that shadow side to show us that we have grown. We're just not in alignment with that growth yet. And it's our emotions and our negative emotions and our triggers and our habits that come into play, which are only beliefs that we hold on to, that we're able to, you know, that we're able to learn from that and grow. And it's just using, you know, it's using that our own guidance system of knowing that emotions are just there to tell us that we're not in that alignment. You know, we're facing resistance right now. And I think when you're able to comprehend that concept and use that to, you know, and use those learnings to deliberately create your life to the way you want it to, I think this will align people much more simpler to that overall life success. And I know I may be speaking upon a lot of different concepts here. I'm speaking on many
it's all
years,
related.
many books and many training. Yeah, so
It's all good
so
because I
think
find
it's
that, you know, it's all
you know,
related to
it's
it.
all fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
And
it's
when you
all,
look at the Tony Robbins and you look at the Les Browns and you look at the people that have that, you know, that are those public figures, they'll say the same thing. It's just, it's until you truly, you know, words don't teach. That's why I, for myself as a trainer, and now that I'm starting to get back into that, and I'm now taking other workshops to provide even a different type of value programs. And once we start launching them online, this is, you know, I was never really fond of theory-based teaching or theory-based coaching. To me, cookie cutter theory-based does not work because every single person is uniquely different. So when you could customize different things and work off of experience and work off of, you know, a different platform other than theory, I think you'll, you know, not only as an entrepreneur, you're providing more value, but I think for somebody receiving that would be able to appreciate that more than just the theory-based aspect of, you know, of training and investing and, you know, investing in oneself.
yeah. And I think it's all part of that too. Like, you know, for some people, maybe their success is like, you know, when they get to that certain level in their job or in their work or anything they do, and they think that's it. Okay, I'm here. That's all I can do. When it's like, not really. You just have to set a new goal. You just have to see yourself as like, okay, I got here. This is what I wanted to get. This is what I wanted to do. Okay, so what's next? What can I do next? Or how can I improve? And as we know, it's part of like, yeah, like we know we believe in mentorship, we believe in coaching, we believe in like, doing a workshop and taking a training here and doing reading books. So it's all that that is going to get us to like, okay, I can keep going and keep moving. And Deepak Chopra is also pretty big on that. He mentions that, your brain is capable to learn so much. And that's why to me, it's like you, I agree 100%. That it's like we never stop learning. We always have room for growth because especially for us in business, if we're like, okay, I learned this, I know how to do this, this is working good, okay, I can do better, okay, yeah. So I read this book and I learned some new things and I keep going. Or yeah, I went to take a training or we talk or, helping we connect to our mastermind group and all those things. That's how we like keep improving and keep getting success. And that's how I feel like for me in business, that is the success that we all want. And we just have to keep like being open and being willing to like learn because that's how it is. And some people they just don't want, let's say they want to stay where they are, and that's okay too. Because as we know, we have to respect other people's model of the world, or we have to respect other people's values or beliefs. And that's okay. We just have to find the others that are, like you say, are in alignment. Let's say, well, what we do, and they'll become like our clients, or they become our, investors or peers that we can work together. Because a lot of us, I find that too. Since I've been an entrepreneur in the last few years, it's like I'm always meeting those people like, oh, she's doing this. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna see how can I improve on myself doing the same. Or, even just ask. I ask for like, okay, how did you get here? Or how's that working for you? Tell me more. And that's how you're like improving and you attract those people too. It's just fascinating that we know how we can attract those people that will come to you and then you learn this. Okay, now you know this, and then now you go more, and that's how we escalate every time. So it's super super cool. I love it. I really do. So and seeing their success, like to me, I see also the transformation in my clients too, and I see all those little things, and when they talk, they change, and they've seen themselves as a like, okay, this is how can I do this, and I have now this option, and I can work on here, and I can have success one after another, and it's because we're growing together, let's say. So I really really love it. So we had some people. I think we got some people there. Alejandra's there. Bob, Rick, Jose, Mitch, Luis. Hola, Luis. Stacy, hola. I don't know if they have any questions. I don't see any comments or nothing. But you guys, this is Maria and I here again on our Friday conversations that we're, discussing so many things, and we're talking about and what is your definition of success. If you have any comment, if you want to say something, so please do. And we're here to, connect with you in any way. And Maria can tell us more. Tell us again, Maria, where are you? And tell us a little more on how is your business too, so people can know more about that and connect with you if they need to. So.
Well, we're, like I've expressed, from our past videos, we're in a transition point where I think the main thing I find, and this is, and I've been talking to a few of my family members, and I've, a few conversations have kind of crept up regarding, this is such an incredible time for people to truly experience a different way of living. How we know, how life was is going to be different now. And and it could truly transform a person's life, and some of those conversations were, a few people that I was talking to was, that are in jobs, per se, and a few of them are not very happy where they are, and it's, and I understand, it's hard for one to say just pick up and quit their job if they don't like it. It's that security. Once again, it's that fear. And, and of course you got to be smart about it, but I feel that this is an incredible time for people to truly, you know, connect with their passions, connect with, what it is that they love. If there is we all have our own gifts. Do you even know what those gifts are? What are your superpowers? And it's a really great time for self-reflection. And I think using this time to, to get to know yourself and connect. So for us, it's that in this past year, it's a year and a half, I've been really trying to, because I've had so many different experiences over the past 5 years, and I've had a chance to experience firsthand, when you come across something that you don't like, automatically, if you're open, you're going to know right away what you do like, or what, if you know what you don't want, right away the solution is presented. The question is, are you open to receiving that? So I take that philosophy in everything that I do now, and it's allowed us to pivot and transition and pivot within the business that ultimately is more in alignment with me, with the passion, the purpose, my life purpose, my soul's mission, the things that really, really, really excite me and I'm passionate about, that intrigue me, that I'm able to immerse myself in and learn and grow in that experience and provide that value to a client. I think that's the key. How can you service somebody if you're not in alignment with your own passion and knowing? Truly, how energetically, and I mean, we're so humanized. So many people are so humanized, and I get it, because I still see myself, and and it's funny. I laugh because I see myself in those shoes sometimes, where I'm like, okay, I'm acting human again. I'm in my head, or I'm just not grounded. Take a deep breath, and I really am working on truly living the life of deliberately creating my life and going with the flow of when I receive those impulses or those ideas or those inspirations, I follow that. Instead of me going on I'll give you my to-do list, that I go through, not living by that, not living by my schedule, not living, which is so foreign and different to me. It's a whole different way of living. And ever since I've been taking this law of attraction process and truly using my gifts of empathy, of intuition, of connection, and using my higher self gifts to service my clients, not only has our revenue doubled, if you want facts, has the flow of financial stability have flown, doubled to where we were last year. But in terms of my own personal fulfillment and truly connecting to who I am, where I'm going, and being able to service my family and service my clients and be a true leader in my world is the greatest success of all.
That's I think success for sure.
Yeah. So how about you, Zoe?
Yeah.
How about you?
Just gonna say hi to Kate. Kate's there. Hi, Kate. How are you? She say hi, ladies. How are you? Long time no see. So yeah, for me, since I used to, when I was working, let's say in Venezuela, I always worked for, corporates, and then here, pretty much the same, working for companies. And then when I decided to become an entrepreneur, yeah, it's been like quite the transition, and I'm still, in that transition to get better and to be better to serve others and to be able to, let's say, help my family also back home. They're still there, and to have those little things that it kind of like get me to, okay, this is what I did. I love it. Now I can move on to the next thing, and then I can do this. And when I like, let's say something went wrong or bad, which that's not like that, but let's just pretend in the human world that it's bad thing happened. So it's just how can I improve this? And I always just like, it's like you have to keep, like I keep to myself like a mantra during the day, or like, I'm getting stronger and stronger, I'm getting better and better. Or I think of things like Henry Ford, that, oh, you fail doing this, you fail. And then he's like, no, I didn't fail. I just didn't I found 10,000 times not to do it. Now I'm going to do it, or 1,000 times rather, sorry, because this is how I can do it better. So when you look at other things, like I look at the things that I've been doing, and I'm like, yeah, I think that this was a mistake here. I could have just done it better, or I should have just go and talk to somebody, or find some help. Well, okay, I didn't know what I didn't know, or I just, growing and learning as we go in this journey of like having a business. So for me, it's like every little thing is a success. And I find that it's so fascinating because, like when we talk in our mastermind group, it's like that too. You find all this little thing and you get those aha moments like, oh, okay, yes, now I can move to this. Okay, I did this, now let's do that. And it's a matter of like, it comes back to like being open and being willing to, let's say, accept yourself and then say, okay, yeah, I'm doing this, it's helping me, so now how can I how can I help other people as well to, do the things that they want to do, or to improve their life as well. So it's very, very cool to be able to see that in myself, and then from here I can, show I can do better for others and help, one person at a time, because that's how we are here for. And I love it when you said that, oh, I'm acting like a human, because we all know that we are spiritual. Yeah, we just had a spiritual, having a human experience. And that is so cool when you get to like take a deep breath and then, ground yourself and move on, and just trust. Like it comes back to that too. The trust that we all have for your gut, that it's there telling you something that you don't know how to explain it, and it's there. Yeah. Then trust that to get you to the success that you want to have in your life. So it's just that it's all that, the little things that make the difference, because we have all this experience, we have all, the knowledge, all the things that we're learning, and you always go back into that. Oh yeah, remember this? Okay, yeah, let's do that, or let's improve it from there, or let's go back to this book because it tells us a little bit of, what we need to know now. Because back then maybe we didn't get it. I always go back to my book because sometimes I go back and, oh my God, this was here? I don't remember reading this. And we know how our brain works. So we always go back and revisit all those cool things. And yeah, it is just, it is really, really cool for sure. And to me, it's always it's just that, the learning. I keep, learning all the time, and I'm growing, and just being open to get and to receive, let's say, more knowledge, because I know my brain is growing. And it feels good. So
I know it's so true. I think I always say to the people that I'm connected, people in my circles, that if I could be a full-time student and get paid doing that, being a student, So so that's, and it's funny. I think that that's ultimately, as a trainer, somebody who does trainings and things like that, I think that that's the ultimate position. I think at least what's in alignment for me, and just being able to create, those value, because I think even when you're creating, even though you may be the trainer and training others, as a trainer, you're still learning as well, it being in those positions. So the learnings never stop, even though you may be in a different position of how, that it's being executed, you're still learning from that experience as well. So I think, so I, and it's truly, I always go back to just being in that alignment. And this is something that I say, with my kids, it's, yeah, my kids are here at the back.
I know.
And,
They're going back and forth, so cute.
yes, you see them walking around. It's, it's finding what is it that, just finding and linking yourself to that passion, and finding out exactly what, brings you joy, finding what that is, and, and being able to create in a way that you could share that with others and bring value to other people's lives. And until you're in that position of being in that alignment, you're unable to provide that value to someone else. So, and I think that that's probably been one of my biggest learnings as, within the entrepreneurial world. And I think even in life, I think if you want to look at life as a perspective as opposed to work, I think work is the easy one, because I think whether you're an entrepreneur or you're an employee or you're an executive or you're an investor, whatever that may be, that's an easy place, because I think that's something that we all could relate to. But in terms of life, it truly, it goes back to, unless you're truly in alignment with yourself and connected to that passion and purpose, how can you be the best version of yourself for your own family if you're not in alignment with who you truly are? And I think, I've shared this in past videos. Several months ago, I was at that point where I was ready to move to that next step on getting back into working one-on-one. I mean, even though I do work one-on-one in terms of the real estate, but the real estate has been such a big focus for the past 3 years, where I'm personally ready to now shift and transition and and create that other part of our business, which is within that personal development realm. And that was the question I was saying. I was ready for me to take that next level. And yes, being a trainer in hypnotherapy, a trainer in NLP, a trainer, a master practitioner in neuro-linguistic in a timeline therapy, and a master coach, the incredible modalities. And then for myself, I mean, being an energy interpreter, which basically means, I'm able to interpret other people's energies through my own empathic abilities. And I've been taking courses to even just fully understand that for myself, and being able to address, because for those that are empathic, know that there is truly a responsibility to yourself to take care of yourself, because for somebody who is truly empathic, could end up resulting with a lot of health problems if you're not taking care of yourself. So that was the main thing for me, was building the skill sets around that. I always knew that I was always a little bit different, and I had different things, abilities. And it wasn't until I started taking the trainings 5 years ago with you that I started to uncover these other gifts within myself. So that's kind of where, when I was putting that question out a few months ago, it's like, I need something, especially now with COVID, things are changing. as much as I know that I'll still be able to do my destination retreats, I know that's still going to be an option. I still felt that, okay, we need to transition in a way that I could, still service online should things, progress the way it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where now I'm actually taking the courses for the astronumerology, and it was funny how that just kind of came to be. And it was, once again, that's the fun part about it. I think us as humans do our best to try to control the future. We want to know now how things are going to unfold. We want to have that control. It's kind of like an investment property. You have a triplex, you know that if you do this, you'll be able to get this. And it's like you could project what you could do, but really that's a great plan. And for many investors could say that, yes, sometimes it flows that way and sometimes it doesn't. But that's not how life works. So it's like, I think
Exactly.
us as humans, but that to me, when I see that, it's like we're trying to control the future. We're trying to control the results, the things manifesting a certain way. And when we get into the mindset that, if I do this now and I continue on this path, that this is how it's going to be. And I think that's how you limit, that's how humans limit themselves, is that the best thing. And I'm telling you, some of the things that have, turned to be and how they've manifested are so left field from what I thought. And that's when you could let go of, once again, it goes back to that fear. When you can let go of that control. So control is fear. When you can let that go and just be and just follow the process, enjoy the journey in the moment, you will be so pleasantly surprised on when that manifestation comes to be and how it presents itself. It is so magnificent on how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just releasing that resistance. I know people, being in the entrepreneur, most of my connections are in the entrepreneurial world. And it's funny how it's like they have this vision for this type of business and they're, so gung-ho on building it this way. And I'm like, number one, that's shortage consciousness. And that you're limiting yourself to the possibility. And I get that because that's how I started. I saw myself building this a certain way. And I felt, you're putting yourself in a box. So now it's like, how do you, get yourself out of that box, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's, and it's truly, it's being open to the possibilities of things being completely different. Last year, my life was completely different than it is today on all levels. And, and I know that next year it's going to be completely different than what it is now. And it's the absence of that fear of the unknown is truly going to enlighten people. And I think that's where, many Canadians and many humans, so whatever label you want to use, it's getting out of the logic. And I say this, and I'm good with logic. So for those that are really good at the research and the logic and need to justify that logical fact, and I get that because I'm still like that. And sometimes it's just, I think sometimes it's the facts that people feel safe. It's that safety. It goes back to that survival mode, right?
Yeah.
Us in NLP, we speak on, that survival mode, that value level 3, survival. You're going to fight for your rights. You're going to fight for that justice. And I think what I've learned is that it's at least limited. It's very limiting when you think that this is how it has to be. And when you're open to the possibilities, you're just opening yourself up to a different result. So
yes, Yeah, for sure. And when you talking about the, the where we are right now, that we all know
Yeah.
the COVID. So it's funny how we're like as a human, let's say we adapt to the situation. Like
Yes.
they say, if you look at back a few months ago, we were like, going out, doing our thing. They say whoever's driving to their work, driving to work, doing like the normal life, which we know that too, whatever normal is for you. And now we, let's say, adapt ourselves to being at home and stay home. And to me, it's just fascinating on how I heard stories that, oh yeah, now I'm creating this new thing, or now I'm going to go online and put this together. And now how can we, like you see restaurants, how they're improving and they're delivering their food and then they, come
Yeah.
pick it up and so all these things. So to me, it's just that really it's an opportunity to grow, to an opportunity to
Hmm.
learn new things, to do different things. Everybody's having like their own ideas on like how can I now do this, or me, I'm doing my salsa classes too on Zoom, and that's how we are. And then it's like adapting. And then when we go back to our life, let's say, no, I don't want to say normal because there's not going to be normal anymore. So let's say when we open up more of the world and go back and doing our thing, so it's going to be adapting again. We're going to adapt to the new things. Okay, now
That's
you're going
right.
to wait in line at the store. You're going to do a different way, like, shopping, a
Yeah.
different way things. And we adapt to that. So for me, it's
Yeah.
just that we are here to do those things, to adapt ourselves to whatever is around us. So why don't you take advantage of that and find yourself and, look at you as a like, okay, now I have the opportunity to learn about myself. I think I said that last week when it says, if you can't go outside, go inside, because that's how we
Mm.
are. So we're here, so take that opportunity as a like, this is good that this happened. And yeah, I'm sure for you, like we talk about that too, it's different because you have your kids at home. I don't have kids, so for me it's different. So, but then it's just like adapt yourself to the situation. Like I'm sure parents out there, okay, now they have to have a certain time for the kids to, be in school, online school, and then this different things. So you adapting yourself to your new life. So embrace that and be happy with those new changes. So even though, like you say, yeah, we're afraid, it's just so much fear that we have because we don't know, because let's say we have fear of the unknown, and that's
Mm.
okay. That's okay to have that fear because we don't know. Like, yeah, like you said, people are like, okay, I want to do this way, all this. Well, no, it's not going to happen like that because as we know, as entrepreneurs, you think that you're going to go and, yeah, everything that say going to go up super good. No, it just go like this. It's like a roller coaster. So embrace
Yeah.
those things. And yeah, be just happy with whatever we have. So yeah, it's been really, really good journey for sure as an entrepreneur. And hey, I am like so happy with, because this is so many opportunities I receive. I have so many good things that I'm doing and, working in different projects, with my clients, with my, the group with Mr. Byron Nelson. So I'm doing all these things in my salsa classes. It's just like, yeah, I'm adapting to a new things that is how like we're gonna do maybe for a little while more virtual, let's say, than before, and that's okay. We just find ways. We get more creative. We do other things, and yeah, I'm always open to learn and doing new things, and I'm here to help. Whoever wants to connect, so just connect with us, and we're here to serve. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I love how you say, if you can't go outside, I love that. If you can't go outside, if you
go
can't go
inside.
outside, go within. Yeah, go inside. That's just, it's true. It's really, truly powerful. And I think now, um, it's interesting because, like I said, I mean, some days I'm a little bit more utilizing, technology and, kind of staying what's the word? I'm still utilizing, our information, and utilizing Google and social media platforms um, to gather information on and keeping up to date to what's happening, with what's going on in the world and the transitions and and being on the spiritual sides of things. It's been very enlightening for me to really kind of see the bigger picture of what's going on. I think, I posted a few things that I noticed, going for walks, that, a few towers that I could have sworn weren't there months ago that have been, I don't know if you noticed that post on my Facebook page, not page, about the
No.
towers, the 5G towers.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's another whole
Are you
conversation that we have
noticing?
to have.
Yeah, I know. Are
Yeah, I
you?
noticed that too. Yeah, they're here.
Sudbury and Sudbury too, that weren't there before.
I
See?
don't think they are here in Sudbury now, not yet. But I know in Toronto, though. I've seen like pictures in Toronto there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
another whole conversation that we
Well,
can
that's
have
that's a
because
whole, and that's the thing where, not to go into detail, but it's because those are the things that, being in the loop and knowing what's going on and using that logic, you notice things, and it's sometimes you just have to, even for myself, it's putting back on that perspective of, what, I know that we all came into these physical bodies for a reason, and I think a big part of that reason is to experience life on this physical realm, so that when we do go back to being, go back to, non-physical, that we could revel in that experience without the resistance that humans experience, right? And for me, it's just the curiosity, because when you notice things like that, and it's like, okay, like at the same time, I know that we came here for a reason, and and I could say on a vibrational level, most of us want to experience that freedom, even though you experience that, because we talk about the unconscious mind, right? And the unconscious is so expandable, right? The logic is such a small part, and people live in that logic and don't experience the other 95% of who we are. And and sometimes it's just trusting and knowing that that light will prevail. We will prevail, even when there's times of uncertainty, and there is so much going around in social media now. It could truly bombard somebody's mind and create probably more confusion and doubt than anything else. And even for somebody who's truly awakened and enlightened, could even get into those positions when they're not grounded, right? It goes back to that, just being grounded, right? And so, living life to the fullest.
Exactly. So we have so many cool definitions about success.
Yes.
And so we're so nobody really said a comment. They just were there listening.
No comments,
thank
no
you
questions.
all.
That's all good.
No, that's okay. So thank you, Felicia's there, Lisa, Danny Lee. Thank you all so much for listening. And Carol, Henry. So it's been a really good topic for sure. And I love how we are, you create the success, whether it's a big success, whether it's a little, whether it's like money, whether it's in your relationship, and anything that you do, always ask yourself and say, if you want to have, let's say, one success, okay, what's next? Because there is always, more success that you can have more than one time in your life, for sure.
Right.
So yeah, this has been super, super good. And I think we can leave it at that for today.
Yes.
What do you think, Maria? So
Yes,
this is
I agree.
Maria Esposito. Thank you so much. And we'll, I don't know if you want to say something before we go.
No, I think I've shared.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
think we've both shared. Is there anything that you would like to add?
No, I think it's pretty good. We have so many cool conversations here
These are
today.
fun.
For sure.
These
So
are,
yeah,
it's been fun, kind of just sharing, and,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
just sharing, and when people are in a position of just wanting to connect and,
Yeah, just connecting
share
with
their
us.
comments, and by all means, I think for anyone who is watching this now, or for anyone that will be watching this, that would like to join us in a conversation like this, I think that would be fun. Maybe inviting somebody, someone else to join us in these conversations would be
Yeah, that would be super cool for sure. Yeah, we
yeah,
can keep that in mind for another time. So yes, yes. So thank you so
exactly.
much. Stay safe, be
Yes,
safe,
you as
stay
well.
home, and yeah, we're doing our best here. And it's a rainy weekend here in Sudbury.
Oh,
So yeah, we'll get the sun again hopefully next week. It's okay.
yes,
Rain is good too. So thank
yes.
you again, Maria. Be
No, thank
safe,
you.
and we'll
Or-
talk soon. Thank you all so much
Yeah,
for watching us, and we'll see you next Friday at 3 p.m.
yes.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.